Okay, so what we're going to do here, we're going to look at how we can make some box plots and some comparisons between them. So we're really looking at distributions for the different years and some comparisons between those distributions. So you may notice along the bottom, there's many tabs here, and each of them is a slightly different data set. We have the UK locations for 1987, and we have the UK locations for 2015. We eventually get to the non-UK locations, which has fewer variables to work with, but we also have those for 87 and for 2015. Okay, so what we want to do, we're going to pull some data and we want to analyze it. What we're going to use another program. It's something that's available online. It's free online, and that's Geogebra Classic. So if you go to Google, type in Geogebra, run that search, and we're looking for this classic version. So classic Geogebra, and it is, you don't need to download it. It's fully online. So it's just online that you're going to be using it. All right, so you should get a view something like this. We're going to be working with the spreadsheet feature. So let's click on the spreadsheet. And if we go over here and we can change what we're looking at, so we're going to change the view. I don't really need coordinate axes. So I'm going to take off graphics. And the only thing that's actually ticked is the spreadsheet. Once we do the analysis, it will come up. All right, so let's grab some data that we can use. So I'm just going to open up a new folder here, or a new file, I should say. I'm going to select all of column B. So I can go to File, Copy, and Paste. So this was the Camborne data in 87. Similarly, I'm going to select column B from Heathrow, 87. Let's grab Herne, 1987. You guessed it, Leeming, 1987. And finally, Le Chars, 1987. Okay, I've only put them into this temporary Excel document so that I can transfer all of that data at once into Geogebra. Okay, so there's all of my data ready to be transferred to Geogebra. So I'll select all of the data I want. I'll go to copy, Control and C is a keyboard shortcut, and then moving back over to Geogebra, just gonna paste it in. So right click and paste. All right, fantastic. So there's all the data. I've transferred it into Geogebra. Let's just make sure that it's all there. Sometimes this Geogebra can be a little bit funny and it only lets you do 100 pieces of data at once, but it looks like it was absolutely fine. Today, highlight my data, multiple variable analysis is what we'll click on. And amazingly, there we have it. We have the 5 box plots. Okay, so Camborne, Heathrow, Herne, Leeming, and Le Chars. And those can be exported as a picture into your Word document. Okay, producing the box plots is one thing. We want to make some comparisons and some comments about them. We can see that they're very varied. Okay, if you notice there were no outliers, this little cog widget allows me to put on grid lines and allows me to either put on or take off outliers. There were no outliers this time round, otherwise they would be shown by the X. But here we can see each of our box plots with the grid lines, so it's a little bit easier to make those comparisons. Okay, so who has the largest median? Which one has the largest range, interquartile range, and what about the skew? It would be nice if we could change these column headings immediately. That's something that is a little bit easier to do on the installable version of Geogebra. It's a little bit tricky on this online version. As soon as I figure it out, I will let you know. Okay, so as I always tell you, there's really 3 features of the box plots, the main 3 that we want to talk about. Firstly, talk about the median. Secondly, talk about the interquartile range. Third is outliers, and if there is a fourth mark available, you want to talk about the skewness. Okay, my first comment, Le Chars has the lowest median daily mean temperature for 1987. So out of all of them, Le Chars had the lowest. I chose to talk about the lowest, you might be talking about the highest, in which case Heathrow has the highest median daily mean temperature for 1987. My second point here, Campbell and Heathrow and Le Chars have the joint lowest interquartile range, while Hearn has the highest. Okay, so I spoke about the lowest, spoke about the highest, spoke about the fact that many of them had similar interquartile ranges. Okay, on top of that, we can go ahead and talk about skew, in which case all of them seem to have negative skew. If there were outliers, there will definitely be something for you to make reference to. Okay, now that you followed me through that, here's some tasks for you to do. So go through some similar steps to what we've just done, and I would like you to complete 2 of the following, saving them into your Word document and making conclusions, so some sort of interpretation from the diagrams that you produce. Don't forget, we're trying to get familiar with this large data set so that within the exam, when they phrase questions, when they devise questions for us, we're already very familiar with the context in which they're talking about.